power plant source of fuel? And is it renewable?
It's renewable because
Nuclear energy is not renewable and only found in certain places, like Canada and Australia.
Do you know what coal's source of fuel is?
No.
Okay, do you know if that's considered renewable?
Probably not.
Coal is non-renewable and takes years to form. There's about 133 years left of coal on the Earth, and it's found mostly in North America and India.
How is the energy from nuclear power plants generated into energy for the consumer at home? Nuclear power plants, they use heat and water and produce pressurized steam. The steam goes through turbines to produce electricity, and the electricity goes to the power lines. Do you know how the energy from coal power plants is generated into energy for the consumer at home?
I do not.
In coal power plants, they burn coal with a boiler, and the combustion of coal converts water into steam. Then the steam goes through the turbine and produces energy. What do the safety precautions are at a nuclear power plant to prevent a danger?
Protection.
A safety precaution for nuclear power plants are exposure minimized by use of remote handling equipment in the core of the reactor. Cooling can be achieved by water in the condenser circuit with hot water going through the cooling tower. These power plants last about 20 to 40 years. Do you know what type of safety precautions are necessary for coal power plants not to break down?
Really? Really? Like, make sure that like the coal doesn't like explode.
What are some types of disasters that happen at nuclear power plants? Are there any deaths or injuries?
What? I don't know.
Many deaths present when you're careful with nuclear energy, but cancer is prevalent. 3 Mile Island is the most serious nuclear disaster in U.S. history.
What are some examples of disasters to coal power plants being broken down?
Coal mining is very dangerous. 460,000 deaths have occurred in the past 20 years, and coal air pollution is just as dangerous.
What are the byproducts of any nuclear production? Are they harmful? And what can long-term effects of having nuclear byproducts continually produced?
I don't know.
What are the byproducts of nuclear power plants? Did any are produced?
Some pollution.
Nuclear power plant byproducts is nuclear waste. This is hazardous because it emits radioactive particles and can be cancerous or lead to genetic damage, as well as it can risk health and the environment. What are the byproducts of coal power plants? Coal power plants byproducts are fly ash, gypsum, and slag. This is an inhalation hazard and can cause lung cancer. However, gypsum is okay and not that harmful. However, slag has high levels of arsenic and lead, which can burn the skin. How are the resources disposed when they're completely used up in nuclear power plants?
Maybe they just chuck it in there.
Nuclear power plants, the use fuel is placed in canisters that are placed in tunnels which are seeded with rocks and clay. Most of this waste is stored in tanks at 3 DOE sites. How are the resources disposed when they are completely used up at coal power plants?
Not sure I know.
For coal power plants, they may dispose resources in impoundments or landfills, or it may be discharged in a nearby waterway. On the bright side, most of the waste can be used in concrete blend cement or roofing granules. How much energy is produced from nuclear power plants?
I don't know.
10% of the world's energy comes from nuclear power, and 5.1 million kilowatts per hour is produced per nuclear power plant.
How much energy is produced from coal power plants?
I have no clue.
37% of the world's power comes from coal. A standard coal plant produces 3.5 billion kilowatts per year.
What size city can be sustained from a nuclear power plant?
I don't know.
10 uranium pellets are able to power a home for a year.
What size city can be sustained from coal power plants?
1 million kilowatts per hour can power 300,000 homes.
How much product is necessary to produce how much energy in nuclear power plants?
184 newtons.
How much product is necessary to produce how much energy in coal power plants?
750 pounds of coal power a home a year.
What type of resources are necessary to build a nuclear power plant?
Fire.
Resources needed to build power plants are uranium, which is found in rocks, but it is used as a fuel. Low-level waste is also needed for nuclear power plants, and this can be found in clothing. What type of resources are necessary to build coal power plants?
Coal.
Coal power plants are coal to burn, which could be found in coal mines, and you need river water to cool steam, and you could get this from water in the river. Does a nuclear power plant use a turbine? Nuclear power plants also use steam turbines. Nuclear power reactors use heat produced during atomic fission to boil water and produce pressurized steam. Steam is routed through the reactor steam system to spin large turbine blades that drive magnetic generators to produce electricity. A coal power plant use a turbine? No. You do need a turbine. Coal power plants use steam turbines, and coal-fired power plants produce electricity by burning coal in the boiler to produce steam. When steam is produced, it flows through the turbine, which spins in a generator to create electricity. What are 3 unique facts about nuclear energy?
The sun is the largest nuclear reactor. The former Soviet Union was the first to ever use nuclear fuel as a source, and nuclear power plants have to be placed 10 miles away from any life.
Provide 3 unique facts about coal power plants.
Pollution and it puts CO2 in.
It takes roughly 1 million years to form any type of coal. Each person in the U.S. uses 3.4 tons of coal annually per person, and 9 out of 10 coal mined in the U.S. is used domestically for electricity.
What is the solution to finding the best possible producing clean, effective energy for the planet from nuclear power plants?
A tree.
Pros for nuclear power plants are that they produce power from fission, have a small land footprint, and it releases reliable energy sources. Cons for nuclear energy are nuclear waste and uranium is not renewable. What is the solution to finding the best cost while producing clean, effective energy for the planet for coal power plants? A pro for coal power plants that coal is easy to access through mining. However, some cons are that coal power plants can reduce CO2 emissions, they're expensive, and coal power plants can lead to soil erosion and dust. We decided that nuclear was better because coal produces more harmful byproducts than nuclear does, and it's also less expensive and more reliable energy source for us.